mood for a Chinese buffet, but tired of paying those prices? Well, let me show you how to make it at home. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Mama Bird and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be shopping, prepping, and cooking a Chinese buffet for my family of 5. I don't know about you, but I love Chinese food, but it always leaves me hungry and it makes my tummy hurt. Well, I decided to try it at home. So let's get in here and I'm going to show you how I made this Chinese buffet. If you're new here, I'm Carolina and I live in Montana. I do a lot of pantry cooking, product reviews, and budget shopping on my channel. If that's the kind of content you're into, I hope you'd consider subscribing. I'd love to have you come join my YouTube family. All right, guys, let's get to cooking and I'll show you how to make this. First, let's head to the store and let's see what we can find.
I'm going to be shopping at my local Winco for my ingredients. Alright, we got our list here. What I'm gonna make and what I need to get. Let's see how much it all costs. I think this would be better at 168. I think I'm gonna get 2 of those. They're on sale right now. Oh, they like just have. Nah, let's get the coleslaw. 2 of those. Alright, so that takes care of cabbage and carrots. I got the red pepper. We need broccoli, green onion. $2.68. Wonton, so that's to make crab rangoons, but I'm just going to do 8 rolls and then we'll cut them in half. So $2.68. Alright, let's see, do they have stir-fry noodles? Japanese style ramen. Not what I'm looking for though. Let's see. If we get a bag of broccoli for 2 pounds would be $5.98. For $1.68. Alright, I got 1.5 pounds of, oops, let's go back. Dang it. So I got 1 plus 0.74. Alright, so that was a lot cheaper to do that. I have a yellow onion. Let's grab this big one. 64 cents. Alright, and I think the last thing I need is green onions from here. It's right here. 88 cents each. Great. Alright, let's get out of the produce. Looking for chow mein noodles and alright. $1.28. Okay. Chili noodles. $2.14. Plus $2.14. Alrighty. Check. And then what else do they need? Vegetable oil. $3.88. Ooh, we're getting close. This is for me. 74 cents. Alright, we get some cream cheese. $3.44. $44. And then I'm gonna add $6 for the chicken. Look at that. Alright, let's go check out. I was able to find some discount chicken at Albertsons. I'm always on the lookout when I get there for different types of meats that are on sale. And this one was on sale, and then it was an additional 30% off. So I went ahead and grabbed it because I knew I was making this meal. $23.50.
Alright everybody, we are back from the store. I think we did pretty good. It came out to be under $30. You'll see the things that I bought versus the things that I have in my pantry that I'm going to be using. If you don't have some of the ingredients that I have in my pantry, it might cost you a little more, but once you get that, then you'll have it in your pantry and then you don't have to have that cost anymore, if that makes sense. So we're going to go through and I'm going to tell you kind of what my plan is and what we're going to do. So let's get in here. So we're going to prep these 3 items. The coleslaw does not need to be prepped because it is already ready to go. That coleslaw is both for my egg rolls as well as my chow mein. So here's the chow mein noodles. And then these are going to be for the sweet and sour chicken as well as the pineapple over here. Broccoli is going to be with our chicken and broccoli, which that's what one of our chicken breasts is going for. This is going to get chopped up and put in everything. I'm also going to be making an egg drop soup, so some of this will go in that. This I just need a cup of for the fried rice. And then we have our egg roll wrappers, and then I'm also going to cut this up and make this into the wontons as well. We're going to use this double time. And then with the cream cheese, I don't know if I'm going to use both or not. We'll see. If not, then I'll deduct the price of one of these out of there. And then we have the chicken that you saw I got from Albertsons when it was on sale, and I have vacuum sealed it to make it last a little bit longer. And this is the chicken that we're going to use. It costs $6. So always want to make sure you keep your eye out on discount meat if you can. And then for the broccoli, we could have got prepped broccoli, but instead I chose to go for this, and it was a lot cheaper. The broccoli was $2.52 for all of this, and this is going to be plenty for our chicken and broccoli. So we'll cut this off and get the broccoli ready to go and just kind of get everything prepped so that way when we cook, it's already ready to go. We just need to throw it together. And then everything over here is what I'm getting from my pantry. We have several types of sugars. We have some cornstarch, some vinegars, and this is everything that's going to help complete the meal. So let's get into it and let's get to prepping. I'm going to start by cooking some rice in my Instant Pot. I'm going to be using the step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook. I can have this linked below. If you don't have this, it is a great addition if you're trying to learn more about your Instant Pot. It gives you some recipes as well as just basic how to make bone broth, baked potatoes. So just basic guides on simple things that you need to cook. So I'm going to be making white rice. So this here tells you exactly what you need to do for it and how long to cook. So we're going to rinse the rice, and you're just going to do 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of broth. And this cooks for 3 minutes. Pressure cook it for 3 minutes and then natural release for 10. And then that's it. So I'm going to do that. All right, we're going to go ahead and chop up some veggies. Let's get this. Cool thing about this cutting board. And we're going to kind of go on a rough, large dice for these. The onion and the pepper. I think I might slice one. I'm going to get some prep bowls out. See if we have enough. So for a large dice, I'm going to cut this 2 times. And then we're going to go pretty big when you space out for the dicing. If you want it smaller, the cuts would be a little closer together. Right. Go this way. You can kind of see how big those are. Because I want these to be able, kind of like the chunks of the pineapple. This is for the sweet and sour chicken.
And then for this half, I'm going to slice thin. And I'm pretty sure we need it for something or other. If not, then just need half the onion. Thin slice is really good for cooking on top of burgers. Or you could just cook them and add them to casseroles. Put our slice over here. Now, this is also for it, so we don't have to worry about this tasting like onion because we're going to be cooking it with the onion, right? So I like to just kind of go out the side, go down, and then angle my knife a little bit to kind of cut some of that membrane off. Oh, this one had a baby in it. All right, same thing. I'm going to be going kind of large dice on these. I'm going to want them to have a little bit of a crunch to it. But the good thing about making food at home is that you can prep it how you want. Alright, there is our peppers and onion there. Let's see, we're going to kind of rotate this. Let me give these green onions a rinse. Alright, and then we are going to thinly slice these. I just try to keep them all bunched together. Make sure your knife goes all the way through so you don't get any kind of stuck together and it makes like a whole line of them, you know, if you know what I'm talking about. You want to get all the way down to the root. Now, a lot of you have told me that we can replant this and it'll grow, so that would be something fun to try. Okay, this has got kind of, to see what I mean, I didn't go all the way through. Ooh. I think that's good. Got some of these left. Just gonna kind of go through it. Make sure it's all separated. Okay. All right, we have a whole bowl of green onions. All right, I'm gonna switch this just because that was very oniony and we're about to do the broccoli. So I'm going to put this here and then we'll cut the broccoli, put it back in the bowl. You can eat the stems if you would like. They just take a little longer to cook. Do that. Now you can leave super big pieces if you like. I'm going to cut these and kind of do half sizes. You can also just break with your hands if you want. You might have a little longer pieces there because you're tearing versus slicing. And then I grab this really big one. All right, broccoli, check. This is stuff that we bought because it's by weight, but we're not going to use. I don't know, do you guys have a good use for this? Maybe we can shred it and make broccoli slaw? I'm not too sure. What do you guys like to do with broccoli stems if you reuse them? All right, let's get rid of this. All right, now let's do the chicken. All right, so two of them need to be, or two of the dishes have chicken that's going to be cubed. So I'm gonna do those both at the same time. So here is one of our breasts. I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise. Now when you're doing this, you're pressing down, but you're letting the knife go back and forth. You don't want to have to do the work. The knife does the work. So you're just holding it and moving that knife back and forth, letting it cut right in half. Sometimes it doesn't come out looking that pretty. Sometimes it comes out looking kind of crooked, and that's okay. Takes practice. Just make sure you're watching your hand. Make sure you're watching your hand. Now some people trim this, will trim the fat off of it and stuff. I don't really do that. I think the fat adds some good flavor, so I just leave it on there. All right. So you see how we're kind of just going for bite-sized pieces. It's a little big.
And we're going to be breading these and frying them. So here is one breast cut up. So if you had a general idea of how much this will make. And this is roughly about a pound. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one now. And then I'll bring it back when we slice the other one thin for the chicken and broccoli. All right, our 2 breasts are done. Let's do our final one. I'm just gonna slice this as thin as I can. All right, and here's our chicken for our chicken and broccoli. Alright, and that's all the prep we need to do besides our marinades and sauces. So let's get this cleaned up and put up, and then I'll bring it back. It's usually best to use day-old rice to make fried rice, but what I did is I just put it on the plate here and I put it in a thin layer, and we're going to let this sit out, cool down, and kind of dry up a little bit, and that's what's going to make it kind of stale to really take on the flavor and absorb the sauce to make some really good fried rice. Now that our rice is sitting, we're going to go ahead and move on to some of the other items. I'm going to be making egg drop soup, so I have a quart of my homemade chicken broth that I'm going to be putting in the back pan there and get that up to a boil. And then we're going to make our egg roll filling. So I have some sesame oil here. I use that as most of my cooking oil throughout this whole meal. And then I'm going to put 1 bag of coleslaw mix. This recipe did call for 2, but I don't need to make too many egg rolls. I'm also going to throw in some green onions because we have a lot of them. Then this also calls for rice vinegar as well as soy sauce. I don't know about you guys, but I get the big giant soy sauce from Costco and it lasts me probably about a good 6 months or so. So we're going to add those to it as well as some ginger and some garlic. I will have all these recipes listed down below, the ones that I'm following. A lot of this was new to me, so we get to learn together. Next, I'm going to take half a cup of that chicken stock for the egg drop soup, and I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch to it. That's going to help thicken the soup up a bit. And then we're going to be adding ginger and garlic as well as some salt and pepper. And now we're just going to wait for that to come to a boil. We aren't adding the slurry mixture until then. Now the veggies are cooking up pretty nice. You don't want to overcook these because they're also going to cook in the egg roll. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good. We want these to cool down before we stuff them in the egg roll wrappers. That's one of the reasons that I cooked them first. So egg roll filling, check. Next on the list is to cook an egg for the fried rice. I have some sesame oil down and I'm going to put it in there. I like to cook my eggs in a hot cast iron skillet and have some kind of fat down, and then you slowly pull the egg towards you versus scooting it all around and scrambling it. That kind of makes like for a bunch of little eggs, but if you take the time to kind of just pull it to the center and be gentle with it, then it makes one big fluffy egg, which I really like those kind. So that was all it took, just a couple of, probably less than a minute to cook this scrambled egg in my hot pan. I'm going to take this off. I know some people like to cook their eggs in with their fried rice. That always ends up a mess for me, so this is the way that I like to do it. Now that the eggs are out, I'm just going to reuse the same pan. I'm going to put down some more sesame oil, and we're going to saute some onions. I ended up dicing some from the ones that I sliced thinly. And it's probably just about half a cup or so. It's really your option on how much you want to do. And then I'm going to add some freeze-dried minced garlic. This was raw garlic when I freeze-dried it, so I'm hoping that some of the juices from the onions will help reconstitute that garlic a bit. And then we're going to add 1 cup of our thawed peas and carrots. This is only half the bag, so I really only used 50 cents on this item. And then now that it's in there, we're going to add our dried rice. This has been sitting on the counter for probably an hour, hour and a half. You want to make sure you add your rice before any of your liquids because it's an important step to toast it and get it a little bit crunchy because that's what helps absorb the sauce. I decided to go ahead and add some onions to it, some of our green onions, as well to the soup back there. And then I added a splash of more sesame oil and some soy sauce. After that, we're going to go ahead and add our eggs to it. This was 2 eggs as well. I'm folding it in gently because I don't want to break up my eggs. I think that this just looks a lot better, and I feel like it just works better to be able to cook the eggs on the side. And then I just reuse the same pan, so it's really no big deal. After everything is combined, you're going to go ahead and get it off the heat. I just put it right back on the plate that the rice was on before. And just like that, we have our fried rice done. Check. Next in line at the buffet is our chow mein or lo mein, whatever you call it. These are chow mein noodles. I pre-cooked these according to their package, and now I'm going to put some sesame oil down, and I'm going to throw half a bag of this coleslaw mix in there. I don't want to use all of it, so I still have half a bag left over after all this as well. And then I'm going to throw in some of my minced freeze-dried garlic and some of these green onions. We're going to stir that up and let it cook a little longer. You want the cabbage to cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now that our chicken broth is boiling, we are going to add the eggs, and literally all you do is pour scrambled eggs into the broth. This is 2 scrambled eggs. And as soon as those eggs hit that boiling broth, they cook. And that's what makes the egg strings that you know as egg drop soup. So egg drop soup is very easy to make, super simple ingredients, and probably have everything in your pantry to make it. And just like that, our soup is done. So now we're going to focus back on our chow mein. I'm going to add some soy sauce as well as some oyster sauce to this. I probably should have mixed them together and did it that way. I cooked the chow mein as per instructions, and this is all I'm going to put in here. I did notice it was a little dry though, and I do not like dry pasta, so I went ahead and added some more soy sauce and some more oyster sauce. Now that we're at the end of this, I do wish I would have added even more sauce because those noodles got a little dry by the end of it. But that's it. Our chow mein is now done. We can check it off and move on to the next dish. I'm going to be prepping the filling for my cream cheese wontons. What I have in here is 1 block of cream cheese. I added some garlic powder, some salt, and then some of those green onions. I do wish that I would have diced those onions a little finer for this particular dish, because once they were in there and you ate them, they were a little crispy and, you know, kind of big chunked. So I do wish that I would have diced them. That would have been my only suggestion. But this mixture was absolutely delicious. So we have this mixed up, ready to go to stuff our wontons. I'm going to be working on the sweet and sour chicken next. So I'm going to get the peppers and the onions in the skillet cooking. We're going to let those cook and get a sear on them. So I'm going to come over and work on the sauce. It's going to take half a cup of regular granulated sugar, and then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I don't think sweet and sour sauce is complete without pineapple juice, so I'm going to add all that ended up being in the can, which ended up being about half a cup of pineapple juice. And then we're also going to add a 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. You're going to add a 1/3 cup of ketchup, and then we're going to add some soy sauce. This is a pretty basic sweet and sour sauce. The last thing you're going to need is some cornstarch, because once that hits the heat, it's going to make it nice and thick, and that's what you want in a sweet and sour sauce, is a nice thick sauce. Some have the sauce on the side, but I'm going to go ahead and cook it all together. Now we're going to go over and flip our peppers and onions. They're doing pretty good. I got it on probably about a 7 heat, so a medium high. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add half a can of pineapple to this. You could get the tidbits if you want, that they're extra tiny. I got the chunks because I like big chunks of pineapple. And then we're going to hit it with our sauce, and the sauce is going to bubble and thicken up. And that's all there is to it. Now, if you wanted to add your chicken, once it thickens up, would do it. But I'm going to have my chicken on the side because I don't want it to get soggy. So that was it for our sweet and sour sauce. Next item on the list is my General Tso's chicken sauce. Now, I just made the sauce, but I wasn't able to record it because my camera went out. But here's the list of ingredients, and all I did was microwave this for 3 minutes, and it came out fantastic. Don't forget, I will have all these recipes listed below. These are the pictures from the recipe that I used. So that was a pretty easy step. Now let's move on to stuffing some egg rolls. Alright guys, I want to show you these egg rolls. Come like this. We're going to put about 1/3 of our filling right here in the middle. Tuck the sides. Okay. Take this and pull it. And then this is just water. This is going to help it stick so it doesn't open up when we're frying it. Roll. Just like that. We got some egg rolls. Now, for the wontons, they're usually a little smaller. Not too sure how to fold these. We can do them like a little
pocket. Obviously regular wonton wrappers would be better, but you'd work with what you got, you know. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a bunch of these. Hopefully those work. And then we'll give them a fry. All right, everybody, I'm gonna put my oil in here. We're gonna do some frying. I'm just gonna do the whole entire thing because we have egg rolls, we have chicken, and we have biscuits. I think I'm gonna do the biscuits first so the oil doesn't get flavor and contaminated. So we're gonna bring this up to 350, and then we're just gonna drop these biscuits. We'll get these open. I think I'm going to break these in half. 10 biscuits, so that'll make 20 little balls. Didn't get it. Oh, there we go. All right, into this chicken, I'm gonna add cornstarch. And that's what's gonna make this nice and crispy. I want you to put this in a bag and shake it, but I'm just gonna use my hand to coat them. There we go, these are ready for frying. All right, let's temp the oil. We want it at around 350. It's about 250 right now, so it needs to get a little hotter. All right, we're almost up, so I'm gonna turn it down to like a 6, so that way it doesn't get too hot. Split this in half, roll them up. Try to be fast so they all cook at the same time. As they flow and get golden brown, we can take out one at a time. Oh, it kind of stuck to the bottom there. Oh, getting golden. Let's get these ones out. Oh, not this one. Going straight into a bowl of sugar. Not a good idea to do that over the oil. Alright, let's fish these out. Same thing, straight into the sugar. Give it a toss. Oh, get back in there. And there we go. So I'm going to do that with the other ones. Alright, I went ahead and put in the cream cheese ragoons. I think those top parts are going to be super crunchy, so that'll work out. Here's our bowl of donuts. I might have needed another thing of oil so I could really have a nice deep pot. But that's okay, this is working. And the oil was one of the most expensive things I bought besides the chicken. Alright. I'll pull these out. Alright, let's see how the egg rolls do. Do 4 at a time. Alright, we're going to pull these out. Now I'm just going to keep cooking the rest of those, and then we'll move on to the chicken. Alright, that is the last of the chicken, the fried chicken. We're going to be using this for the sweet and sour chicken as well as the general sauce. Now we're going to make our chicken and broccoli, and that's the last dish. So let's put some sesame oil down. Gonna go ahead and add our chicken. I'm just gonna add it all at once. You just kind of want a sear on it. Oh.
gonna have to clean the kitchen tomorrow.
How do you make those? How do you make those?
You gotta fry them.
Do I have a broccoli?
Sure.
I love broccoli.
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 Hold on.
And then you just put them in the oil?
Yep. And the oil and that fries it.
I love broccoli.
Yep. Alright, we're gonna go till these are cooked and then we'll throw in our broccoli. Alright, our chicken's cooking. It's kind of steaming here, but it's pretty much cooked. Let's add our broccoli. Got some left. This will kind of help cook it too, and then we'll add our sauce. Alright, broccoli's getting a little color to it. Let's add our sauce here. Alright, that sauce is nice and thick, so this is done. And just like that, our buffet is done and ready. I didn't toss the chicken in the sauce because this is for the sweet and sour as well as the general sauce, so that way we can put the sauce on it when we're ready to eat it. Here is our chow mein. It looks fantastic. Big old plate of fried rice. Now the only problem is that some of this came out kind of faster than the others because I was down to one stove, but I put it in the oven and it kept it warm. Look at this. These look so good. Let's take a bite of this egg roll. Here's our chicken and broccoli, egg drop soup, and of course the sugar donuts for dessert. I can't believe that I got all this food at under $30. Well, thanks for coming along and seeing how I made my family a Chinese buffet. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.